You are no stranger to controversy.
Oh no.
Over the last 10 years you've been doing this,
Long.
is there anything that you've done that you regret?
Even when I was making lots of money, and people don't ever want to talk about that, but when we're talking Dramagedon, and I'm gonna be honest, I was making 30,000, 40,000. One month I hit 75,000 on YouTube ad revenue. The amount of money I blew and wasted, I got so much hate from the YouTube community because I was a drama channel that met Jeffree Star, and it was like, you're biased now. You know, we can't believe you now. You know, I went to his house, I saw the vault. Until this day, if I shoot him a text message, he'll respond back. The James Charles situation years ago, I was making videos and I was saying he's talking to underage guys. There was an article, it painted me to be a villain, and then years later, it came out to be true. Did they ever write an article as a rebuttal? No. I think all YouTubers are a little bit of a narcissist, just a little bit. The only one who gets in your way is yourself.
Yeah.
And people will say, like, I don't have the ring light, I don't have the camera equipment. I'm shooting from my phone right now. Just get out there and do it. If I told you how to be a successful YouTuber, and these are what you have to do, and you followed it, you still won't be as super famous. Because either you got it or you don't. I was working at the chemical plant, and I would work 12 hours a day, 6 days a week, 1 day off. And I would come home and make videos, and nobody watched, nobody cared. If I wanted something, I had to work for it. Like, I want to be different. I want to, when people scroll, like, what the hell is that? And I came up with this look. We call it the $1 million face.
Rich Lux is a Houston-based YouTuber known for his comedic and satirical commentary on beauty, community drama, and product reviews. He began his YouTube journey by discussing luxury goods, beauty, and fashion, with his first video focusing on a Louis Vuitton men's wallet. Over time, he gained popularity through videos critiquing popular figures on YouTube like Shane Dawson, Jeffree Star, and James Charles, and addressing controversies within the beauty industry. Is there at some point where you feel like, I'm over this?
Oh, girl, I've been burned out 5 years ago. There's a lot of work that goes into it. People don't notice that. It's because I saw my mom and dad wake up and go to work every day. And that's what I've been able to do.
Is there a moment through your experience that has fundamentally changed you as a person?
I mean, I would say yes.
I'm
I
sorry.
don't even know about that. That's just a thing to say.
Oh. Well, hello, Rich.
Hi, how are you?
I am good. Are you ready to jump in?
Oh, I'm ready.
All right.
I'm always ready.
I know you are. All right. So as a commentary channel, drama channel, you are no stranger to controversy.
Oh, no.
Over the last 10 years, you've been doing this, which is impressive that you have been doing this for 10 years.
This long.
Is there anything that you've done, a video or anything, or said or anything that you regret?
Absolutely not. I do not regret it at all. It made me who I am today. Even when I was making lots of money, and people don't ever want to talk about that, but when we're talking Dramagedon, and I'm gonna be honest, I was making 30,000, 40,000. One month I hit 75,000 on YouTube ad revenue.
On
And
YouTube AdSense.
on
Damn.
AdSense. The amount of money I blew and wasted on so many men, I don't regret it at all. It really made me who I am. And so now today, I'm kind of like been there, done that. I wouldn't want to buy that again, but it was all an experience and it made me who I am today. And I wouldn't have done it without keeping God first.
What do you mean by that?
I generally believe that my faith in the higher power, and whatever people believe, I think there's a higher power. For me, it's Jesus. I believe I got this far because of that.
So that every single thing you did brought you to where you're at today.
Yeah, with you, here I am.
And that God guided you, or
Oh yeah, and sometimes the devil, but it all made sense. I'm here, like I'm still living and breathing, and you know, and here's the thing: a lot of people don't know this, but I'm about to be like 40 years old.
Oh.
I'm about to be. You know, I started at such a young age, and I mean, you wouldn't tell with all the Botox and filler and the veneers I got. Thank you, Jackson. Thank you, Jacqueline Hill. But like I got here because of that, you know.
Jacqueline Hill paid for those veneers with all
Jacqueline Hill
the
paid for
drama.
veneers. Linda from Morphe, thank you guys. And I love all that. And so it got me where I am today. So, you know, I'm blessed.
Yeah. I mean, you upload every single day. And you've done that pretty consistently.
Yes.
Right?
Every day for like almost just either right about 10 years or a little bit more. But it's because I saw my mom and dad wake up and go to work every day, you know? And so I was like, and I worked at a chemical plant before, just watching. I was a viewer with watching Nicole Guerrero, whatever happened to her. And I
Oh
would
yeah.
watch her, remember her?
Yeah,
Watching
I
her
do. She was
videos.
one of the first ones I remember watching. What
Yeah.
happened to her? Yeah.
Whatever
I
happened,
I
right?
haven't thought about her in forever.
And she did a collab with ABH and Anastasia, and that's when I was just watching.
Mm-hmm.
And I
Mm-hmm.
was working at the chemical plant, and I would work 12 hours a day, 6 days a week, one day off, and I would come home and make videos, and nobody watched, nobody cared. It was like
Mm-hmm.
vlogs. One day
Mm-hmm.
I sat down and made a Nicole Guerrero video, and it just blew up. And I was like, I think I found my lane. I think I found my people.
Mm-hmm.
And I
Mm-hmm.
loved it. And I was like, how can I make a look that sets me? Because there's a lot of people who sit and just talk, talking heads, they call it. I want to be different. I want to, when people scroll, like, what the hell is that? And I came up with this look, and we call it the $1,000,000 face, because that's how much I made off of it in 10 years. And I was like, yes, I love it. And I've been doing it ever since. And I have a patent. I've been on the news several times here. I live in Houston. So every Friday I'm on local news. We do have a little hot topic segment.
Oh,
And I
nice.
got,
You get paid for that?
no, girl.
Oh no.
So
So
I'm
it's
keeping it
just for
real.
what, publicity or like?
Yeah, it's like a 30-minute segment. I live
Okay.
down the street from the studio. I just show
Oh,
up.
nice.
I came from humble beginning. We weren't like the richest family, we were kind of humble. And I just remember if I wanted something, I had to work for it. And I was always been like this overweight, chubby kid. And I felt like YouTube was my outlet to find people, that
Mm-hmm.
resonated with my sense of humor, and obsessed with Hello Kitty and Hatchimals and Beanie Babies and stuff like that,
Yeah.
and gossip. And I was like, I like this, and I wrote it out. And then, you know, whenever I started doing beauty, and we started talking about Jeffree Star drama and Manny MUA and everybody else, Jeffree Star was the only one who reached out to me and said, "Hey, let's meet.
Mm.
Let's do a video together." And
So he reached out to you first.
yes, he
Mm-hmm.
came to Houston. He sent me a message on Twitter. The tweet still exists, and he added me, and we set it up. I went to his hotel room, and I remember I got so much hate from the YouTube community because I was a drama channel that met Jeffree Star, and it was like, you're biased now.
Mm.
We can't believe you now. Oh, you're receiving PR now.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was one of the first to do that. Now people get it, and it's okay, like
Mm-hmm.
whatever. And I remember he was the only one to reach out, and me just trying to make it on YouTube. I was so happy that he accepted that. Like, he reached out the hand, and I reached back, and it just skyrocketed my account and the views and everything because of that. I went to his house. I saw the vault. We had real conversations. Until this day, if I shoot him a text message, he'll respond back.
When you think about it, it's smart for him to get the commenters and gossip people on his side. If
Very,
you think
yeah,
about it, right?
yes,
So
yeah.
it's whether, I mean, it sounds like you guys are really good friends, but it's smart for him to do that.
Yeah, because when something would happen, he would say, "Rich, that's not how it went down."
Mm-hmm. Mm.
So that was
Did
so.
his
But
time.
so I've been canceled. I'm like one
Yeah.
more cancellation away from being TikTok famous, and
Yeah. You're on TikTok
Mhm.
and you stay on YouTube every single day.
Yeah.
So what do you see is different with TikTok with your type of like drama and commentary?
Well, I saw the change. Not only that, I saw the change financially too. So, like, I was not making the same amount of money I was back in Dramagedon days. It was like
Yeah.
almost the ad revenue got split 50%. Even the views have
And
went
what
down a
year
lot.
was a Dramagedon? That was like
What, 20
20,
2016, 17?
that long ago?
But then I kept writing it out, 18, 19,
Yeah.
and right around
Was
um
just
COVID, it's
yeah,
when
right before
something
COVID.
happened. And
Hmm.
when that happened, I just saw the views change. Things changed. Now, I mean, people still get views on YouTube, of course, but I noticed that my community just kind of gravitated toward other platform.
And that was TikTok.
And now it's TikTok. So I'm over there now. And like, if you pull up my TikTok, you'll see 7 million views, 8 million views. And I don't get those views on YouTube
No.
anymore. Like, that's
Mm-mm.
for anyone to get that many views today. I mean, I remember Candy Johnson did a glitter lip, 30 million views.
I
That
know.
doesn't happen today.
No, things are so
So
different.
to be able to get 7 million views on a TikTok video, that's insane.
So what makes you stay on YouTube then and
Oh,
upload
I
every
love
single day?
I love doing it, because if it was about the money, I would have quit a long time ago. I generally just love interacting with people. I love the comments. I I adore it. You know, it's
Mhm.
something I've always known to do. And I don't know. I have a passion for it. I love making videos and I love the news. If I wasn't doing this, maybe I would be an anchor on TV or something. But I've always had a love for it. And, you know, this the community for me. I call them my sneaky snakes.
Mhm. Sneaky snakes.
Sneaky snakes, my little
Yeah.
community.
But on TikTok, do you not feel like there's that same community there? Because there's a lot of engagements and comments and all
Oh,
that.
yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. There is. There
Mhm.
is. It's a different type of genre. I feel different people are there.
Like, what's the
They're just,
difference?
they're more short form. They love the short form content.
Mhm.
And I noticed that some people, it's either like sink or swim, and
Mhm.
that's kind of like the trend right now is short form content. And I love long form content because I could talk your ear off all day long, girl. So I
Yeah.
love to make YouTube videos and have people watch and just me ramble as well too. But I have to keep up with the times, and right now I feel like it's, you know, the TikTok and the YouTube Shorts and
Mhm.
things like that. I got to do that too.
Damn.
But you know, just like it all started out working at the chemical plant. I had a real job, so I know what it is to work. And so sometimes I don't always want to wake up and film a video, but I have to hustle. It's a hustle. I like to eat at Mastro Steakhouse. So I, you know what I'm saying? I got to make my little videos. And so
Yeah.
I generally love making my videos. And I try to keep it as real as possible. And the consumer today, it's different than in 2016, 17 because we all have cell phones and we do a little research before we buy now. And a lot of times before we walk into a makeup store, we already know what we want. And
Mhm.
not only that, but the women and men who watch, they can kind of see through the BS of, oh, I love it so much. And you're like, what? Really? You just try it on the first time with no wear test.
Yeah.
When something says 30-hour wear test and the beauty guru is not doing the 30-hour wear test, but they love it so much.
Yeah, and you're the one to call them out on it.
Yeah, and oh, I get so much hate. I get so much hate about it, but I'm
Yeah.
used to it at this point. It's like, how dare you talk about Jaclyn Hill? You don't even know her, you know, or James Charles. I get that, and now it's Michaela Noguera
Yeah.
over there. I get so much hate for even they say I'm obsessed. I'm so obsessed. It's just all part of the gig. I gotta tell people I'm like, you know, when I turn the camera off. I'm not watching Michaela Nagura videos or obsessed with it. You know, I get the news real quick and I make my video about it. And if I have to apologize for something I said, I have no issue doing that, which I haven't done that. So thank God. But, you know, I usually keep it fun and lighthearted. But there's a lot of work that goes into it. People don't notice that.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Mm.
mean, every single day.
Like just like to get in makeup and costume, you know, for you, it's a little work, you know, but I'm
Mhm.
so used to it. You know, I'm a workhorse. I love working. It keeps me young.
So what
That
is
and the
it?
Botox.
So what? Yeah, the Botox. But yeah, you look good for almost 40.
I
That's great.
thank
Good for
you.
you. I love it.
Well, you know what? Like I've had liposuction, I've had a tummy tuck, I've had
Oh,
gynecomastia. You know, I used to be over 300 pounds,
yeah.
over 300 pounds. I had a belly that hung, and I went to the doctor. I never forget. He said, "Oh, this is gonna be a lot of work."
The doctor said that.
Yes, he told me that. And then he told me, I was like, well, I mean, let's go. And I remember he cut me 360 all around
Mhm.
and got the
Mhm.
fat and threw it away and then lifted me up and sewed it together. I
Yeah.
waited a year. I got the chest done because I had man boobs, God
That's a
forbid.
lot of recovery. That's a.
Yeah, it was a lot of work. And I get the chest,
Mhm.
and I get the lipo, and I get the teeth. So, and I really work on wellness because the people in the comments just work out, just work out. Yes, I get it, but when you work out, you have saggy skin, and you got to get
Yes.
it removed.
Yes.
It's not going to snatch back up.
It's got to get tightened. They've got the new
It's
tightening machines
tightened.
now. Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
that's why, like the money I've made from the YouTube and the sponsorship, I spent it on me. You
Well,
know,
that was my next thing. I was like, so that's what you spend your money on the plastic
on
surgery and
wellness. I
that.
love it.
Yeah.
I like getting NAD and
Oh
B12
yeah. Yeah.
injections
The
and vitamin
NAD
C. You know about
infusion.
that?
Of course, 100%. Are you
Oh
kidding me?
my
NAD
God,
plus?
your
I've been
NAD
doing it
sister.
forever. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Some people
I'm
don't
super
know.
into wellness. Like I've been in it forever. Like
Yeah.
the body hacking thing, I've been doing it since like
Yep.
the 2000s. Like I've been doing it
Yep.
for a really long time. I'm really believe in that kind of stuff. So
Yes, it works. Biohacking. And to me, like that's a part of beauty that we people don't talk about as much.
yeah. Well, that new guy, the one who's trying to live forever. I forget his name.
Oh, I love that documentary. That
Yeah,
was great.
I forget what the guy's name is, but he's
I
trying to live
forgot his name too,
forever.
but you guys, it's called The Man Who Wants to Live Forever.
Yeah,
Check it
yeah.
out. It's a really
What's the
good
guy's
movie.
name? Now I can't remember his name. Oh, but anyways, I love all that stuff, and yeah, I mean that's the thing is like money. when you start making money, and for you to be able to do this successfully for 10 years. So you've for 10 years completely relied on your income from what, brand deals, AdSense, like merch,
Yeah.
or like,
Right.
where is it all coming from?
So it's AdSense has always been my bread and butter. The
From
YouTube
YouTube.
AdSense for me. Yeah.
Hmm.
And then when I started doing TikTok, that's also made more money than YouTube now.
So you're making
So
more from YouTube. I'm sorry, TikTok now
yes,
than
and I'm
YouTube.
shocked. This is so weird for me. So that's weird. Like it was kind of scary. And I've always had a long term partnership with Manscaped and Adam and Eve,
Hmm.
and then miscellaneous brands that come through for a couple months. And it's just those three right now. It's just YouTube, TikTok, and sponsorships that I get.
And the sponsorships are on YouTube or on TikTok or both.
They want them for both nowadays. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But there's talk of TikTok going down, and that's fine if it does. It's sad, but I'm always will be on YouTube. I've always loved it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
So
I do feel like no matter what happens, Erica, I'm always going to be on YouTube. I
yeah,
think long form content is the way to go.
I always say long form, long game. I mean, that's look at it. 10 years.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. 10 years.
Just like me on a Saturday night.
Yeah. I mean, every day, every day. Oh my, I almost missed that one. Oh my God. So I want to go back to the TikTok, making more money on TikTok though, because that's really interesting to me. Because as somebody who's kind of like a YouTube OG, who made a bunch of money from like, Dramagedon, how much are you now making on TikTok? Like, how much more are you making on TikTok? And like, what is it that you're doing over there?
Okay, so really quickly for all the viewers at home watching, I'm breaking you to Erica. There's three ways to make money on TikTok, and I hit all points. So you can go live, and people send you gifts and
Hmm.
galaxies and lions and witches and wardrobes, whatever. All right, that's one way. Then there's the TikTok shop, which is like, oh my god, I love this so much. Click that yellow shopping cart down below. All right, that's two. And then the last one is just making short form videos,
Hmm.
and you post those videos, and if it hits the algorithm, you can make $200 to $300, even more if it hits very well. You just never
Hmm.
know what's going to hit. And so
Hmm.
I do all three, and that's how you can make revenue there. So TikTok, I'm bringing about $5,000 a month on TikTok.
Nice.
YouTube, another 5,000 on YouTube. And to a lot of people, 10,000 isn't a lot of money, but for
Mhm.
me, for where I came from, it's a lot, and I make it work
Yeah.
for me, and I'm able to sustain myself and shop at Louis Vuitton every now and then.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
like that.
That's so interesting. So are you doing any of the affiliate stuff on YouTube, like the YouTube shopping?
Yes, the YouTube shop. I tell them that, but I don't really
Hmm.
see much. Like the algorithm doesn't hit as the same. But
Guys,
I
as a
do
TikTok. Yeah.
post it, and I always post the same thing because I love cats. So I post kitty litter in the YouTube because it's so big. No, shut up, Erica. Because it's so heavy, nobody wants to carry kitty litter. So like it's so heavy, so I put it in the YouTube shop so it gets delivered right straight to your house.
Yeah. Who buys kitty litter from Rich Lux? I don't know. When I think of Rich Lux, I don't think kitty litter.
I always put kitty litter on there. I love it.
Oh my God. Well, maybe that's not why you're getting any hits on that. It's like, I'm not making money on the shop. I put kitty litter. I'm like, okay, well, I
But
love
I did talk to Jen Loves Reviews. And I love her. I saw you interviewed her, and you guys watching. If you haven't seen Erica's video, watch it with Jen Loves. It's amazing. So I talked to Jen, and I'm like, Jen, why do you think my views kind of like aren't as the same on
it.
YouTube? And
Hmm.
she had told me, she was just like, because you're still making like 10, 20 minute videos, and she was like, make them longer.
Longer.
She
Yep.
said your audience wants, maybe it's the YouTube algorithm wants longer formatted videos,
I have thoughts.
deep dives.
Have you ever thought about not doing it every day, but spending more time on each video? Kind of like what Jen was alluding to, like
I've thought
more,
about it.
but you haven't done
I've
it.
I've thought about it, but it's a little bit extra work, right? And I'm like,
Yeah, it
can,
is.
can I do it? And so maybe that's something I want to try. Like stepping back, that's something I need to try.
The thing is, though, it's hard to do that though when you're uploading every single day. That's what I was wondering. I was
Yeah,
like, what's your strategy? Is there a strategy around it, or is it just? I get it too. You're like, it's worked. My people like it. I know I'm going to have a certain number of views. I go on every day, and it's just kind of like part of your. You kind of people get into like the groove of
yeah,
things. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? You're like,
hmm
I put on my face, my crown. I'm gonna
yes,
look at my news. What am I going to talk about? So sometimes it's kind of like if you wanted something different, you have to do something different.
yeah. Nothing changed if nothing changes.
Yeah.
Nothing changes if nothing changes. And so that's something I want to work on is making but I want to do like deep dives. on Tana, like I don't know, of something irrelevant. Like why were we so obsessed over Beanie Babies? Like stuff like
Are
that.
we
Like this,
still?
back in the day. Remember when people were
Yeah.
obsessed with them
Oh,
back in the
back.
day?
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like we're
So like
we're for
totally random. So like not in the beauty YouTube
yeah, like
community
why
space.
were we obsessed with Furbies? And talk about that, like stuff like that. The downfall of J.C. Penney's, like something like
I
stuff
mean,
like that. I do like stuff like that. It's just
you
this
like researching.
nuances in life like that I
Yeah.
like. But every now and then, because even though maybe I should keep it on trend and keep it with hot topics, celebrities, and gossip, but I also like to do stuff for me. Even if it doesn't get a lot of views, I want to make videos that I would click on,
Yeah.
and that's what keeps me happy. Because if I don't, I get really stressed out and I'm not happy doing it.
Well, you're not in
Yeah.
alignment. You're not being authentic.
Yeah, exactly. So
Hmm.
even if a video doesn't get a lot of views, like I'm happy with it because I
Yeah.
that's what I wanted to do
You
today.
like it and you feel
Yeah.
good about it. And that's important. That's super important. That is sustainability because with YouTube, you can get on there and be like, I'm going to create these 2 hour long videos. And then you hate yourself and you're like, what am I doing? And then you quit,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
Or you end up attracting an audience that you don't like. That's what I see all the time too. People go in one direction and they're like, I'm not into that anymore and I
Yes,
can't serve my audience.
yes. You know what I
Hmm.
tell people, because people, they see the success of like commentary, YouTube drama
Hmm.
channels, and they want to do it, and they'll
Hmm.
make a few videos and they'll do really well. But if their heart's not in it, they're
Oh,
like,
it's
well,
so
I don't want
hard.
to do this no more. You
Oh,
know,
I produce some of those videos and like you have to be so into the topic because it's a lot of work.
the stuff that hurts me to my core is when people say, "Oh, you're misogynistic. All you do is talk about women," and I'm like, "Well, let me."
Mhm.
No, I don't. I mean, women are the main topic in the beauty world because there are women that in that category are women. When I do talk about men like Jeffree Star, Manny Way, that may be more on the feminine side, they don't view them as men. So, like, I do talk about men sometimes, but majority is women. But maybe it's American culture that we like to build women up and tear them down, like we did with Britney Spears and Jessica Simpson. Christina. There's something weird about that I know other countries don't do, but we do that here where we build women up and tear them down. And especially, I've seen it in the beauty community that we did with Jaclyn Hill. We build her up, broke her down, and we like to see that. We like to see her rise again from the ashes, but she never did. But
Yeah. Oh, yeah. She's trying,
she's
but
trying.
yeah.
She's trying. So we do that. American culture does that. I know I understood. I like to pin women against each other. I noticed
But
that
what I
too.
feel like this is just going off topic. Well, on
Yeah.
your topic, but off topic. It's like I feel like people are more harsh to the women. Like I feel like in general.
Always.
I
That
feel
has
like the
always been a
guys
thing on
can get
social media.
away with a lot more. Like I feel like Jeffree Star's gone away with a lot, you know?
Yes. Oh, yes.
Um, and like Jaclyn Hill, like I mean, she definitely has caused problems, but I
It's
just
a
feel like
double standard.
I feel like the women they just get, and do you know what it is? Rich, do you know, I think, and I've said this before, it's other women are really nasty. Guys don't give a shit about this stuff. They don't care. It's
Mhm.
the women are really, really harsh.
That's what it is. Yes,
Mhm.
that's what it is. And you've nailed it. And some people in the comments may not agree, but I'm telling
Mhm.
you from my perspective, I agree with Erica as well because I see it. I see it
Well,
that
I
way.
see it from the creator side because I produce channels and it's all women's channels. And they
Yeah.
are all creators say the same thing. It's like, it's the women that are vicious in the comments,
Yeah.
in all ages too. Cause I work with channels of girls that are in their 20s up until women that are in their 60s. And in the 60s, some of them, they're even the worst. They can be really, really cruel. And it's very interesting that as women, a lot of times there is some support. There's some lovely, beautiful, wonderful communities, but then there are some nasty women that
Yeah.
get on
You've
there and
nailed it.
they can be really, really mean, and they're the ones making the mean comments.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. And
Yeah.
so what I get is like, "Yo, you're a misogynist." And I'm like, "No, I'm not. Please stop." And
Mhm.
that's the only comment that really hurts me is that one because that's not true.
Yeah,
You
that's
know.
not. Oh, actually,
I love women. Like I really love women. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for women.
yeah.
And the thing is like I'm very vocal with my political stances as well. And a lot of
Mhm.
people always say, and in the business they say, "Don't talk politics or religion."
Mhm.
Well, I do.
The thing is that you're going to get hate for any opinion, and there's
Mhm.
people, and you kind of put yourself out there to do that because
To get it, yeah.
as a gossip commentary channel, you are criticizing or critiquing or talking about others. So in some ways, people look at it like it's fair game.
I got to take the heat too.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I gotta be able to take the heat. If I can dish it, I gotta be able to take the heat too. And I do get my, the blunts of it. You know, another thing that really hurt was the James Charles situation years ago. I was making videos and I was saying he's talking to underage guys. He's talking to underage. I was making videos
Yeah, you
after
were
videos
saying that.
after
Yeah.
videos.
Yeah.
And I remember there was an article I believe it was on Women's Wear Daily, and it was such a mean article. It painted me to be a villain. It was like this YouTuber is accusing James Charles, and he doesn't even know. And then years later, it came out to be true. Did they ever write an article as a rebuttal? No. And people in the comments, and Erica, maybe you can agree or disagree, but it's like they'll say mean things about you, but then when you come out to be right, they don't apologize.
Yeah, no. They moved on. They don't care.
So
And you're like, wait, what? What about
yeah, I got
me?
so many negative comments about like you can't say this about James Charles. That's not true. How dare you? And you're only saying that because you're friends with Jeffree Star, and then you can see the bias right there. And I'm like, I'm telling you guys, I know the truth. I'm telling you. And then he made a video admitting it.
Yeah.
Until this day, I still say if it was anybody else, they would have been blacklisted in Hollywood, and he still walks the red carpet today.
I wonder I always wonder. That's why I see some things. That's why I say I think a lot of the men are able to get away with things. That's not the same way that the women are.
It's crazy. You shouldn't be doing that. Like I'm gonna take my makeup off because I shot all my videos today,
Okay. You
and
can
you're
take
the
it off.
last. I was like, I want to do this for her,
Yeah.
and
Thank you.
I want and me because I enjoy it. But I'm just a human person, just like everybody else. The comments sometimes hurt, you know. I still go through the same things that folks at home go through, just maybe on a different level. You know, my hustle is different from your hustle, but I still hustle. You know,
Well,
and
yeah.
and that's the thing that people don't understand. Like, they just think that like all YouTubers are super rich and they just make all these billions of dollars. But like in reality, a lot of them they're just able to make a decent living, and that's what I've been able to do. And I want to be able to continue to make a decent living doing it. And so I post and I try to be as if, if I'm speaking from the heart, how could I be wrong? That's what I always say to people.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's my misconception is they think I walk around with this clown makeup on and I don't exist as a person. No, but I am a real person. Like this is me, you know? And I feel happy with it. I'm able to go to sleep at night with what I do and I feel content and proud about what I do.
Yeah. I
And I
mean,
know a lot of stuff I do is sensationalized for clicks
mm-hmm.
and views. And
Mm-hmm.
some people they don't understand that.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you clickbait titles? Well, well, if you don't, how are you gonna get views?
Are
But
you going to do it on YouTube? I know.
but
I
at the
know.
end of the day, it's a gig, it's a business, it's celebrity news and gossip. I think we made it 2024. I got recognized by the state of Texas Influencer of the Year.
Oh, good for
It's
you. That's great.
crazy.
Yeah.
They didn't give me a check, but they should have. But Influencer of the Year 2024, and then we're patented with a trademark for celebrity news and gossip. So it's a real
Oh,
business,
yeah.
and I try to act as if that way, And one day maybe I'll have a show or do Rich Lux live and go on tour or something like that.
I mean, yeah, why not? That's the cool thing about YouTube and being creating content. But I think like for 10 years of doing what you do every day and dishing it out, right? And then having equal, amounts of getting back. Is there at some point where you feel like I'm over this? Have you ever felt that way in the whole 10
Oh,
years?
girl, I've been burned out 5 years ago.
Yeah.
I've
Yeah.
been burned out. YouTube burnout or creator burnout is a real thing,
Hmm.
right? And so there are times that I've been on autopilot, but because I have to put out videos for the subscribers who subscribe monthly, for
Hmm.
those who, maybe you'll get those comments too, and they're like, I watch your videos during a hard time. I do it for those people too. The times that I don't want to film, I'm just like, oh, I'm tired, I'm sick, I'm over it today. I do it for those people. But I've been burned out, but I have to find a way to get like re-energized and excited about things.
And how do
And
you do
I just
that?
find with deep looking at myself, well, NAD plus, but looking at myself, dude, and just taking care of my wellness. And I just have to generally, I can't explain it to you because it's almost like, and this is the thing I want to tell you, it's almost like if I told you how to be successful YouTuber and these are what you have to do and you followed it, you still won't be as super famous, because either you got it or you don't. You got to have that je ne sais quoi about you, right? And so when you say, well, how do you find that passion when you don't have it? You just have to search within. And if you don't have it, honey, you don't got it. I'm sorry, but like, you just have to find it. And I don't know how to guide anyone else to I'm sorry, I don't have the answer for that one. I'm really
Yeah. I mean, it's you're kind of explaining basically like having like a deep desire and passion of whatever it is. I mean, for you, it could be you like the attention, you like the feeling of having people watch you, you know?
I guess so. I guess a little bit. Everybody wants to see you succeed. I've never met anyone who doesn't want to see me win. Once
Hmm.
the only one who gets in your way is yourself.
Yeah.
And people will say like, I don't have the ring light. I don't have the camera equipment. Just I'm shooting from my phone right now.
Yeah.
You know, you just have in a ring light. Just get out there and do it, and
Yeah.
stop getting in your own way of things.
Yeah. I
And
always
people
felt the
do
same.
that. People think it has to be perfect. They have to have the drone and everything. No, come
No,
this shoot. We all
not
start
anymore.
somewhere.
Rich, what drives you?
You know, I don't know. Maybe that's something I need to take a step back and really look into what drives me. And if I have to give you an answer, just off the top of my head, I would have to say YouTube and social media, it gives me purpose. It allows me to express myself and do what I love to do for people can see. But it's not comments. It's not the validation of people. I would say it's like, do you remember back in the day, people used to build pyramids so they could be remembered? I
Yeah.
think in some way, the content I film will live forever, even when I'm gone. Like, when I'm asleep, people are watching my videos, and when I'm long gone, people I hope will be watching my videos. Some nuanced thing, and that gives me purpose.
Well, I mean, everyone has to have purpose, you know?
I'm able to be remembered. I left a beauty mark on this community, and I'm here. And I'll always like every day there's a video that went up or Instagram story or TikTok, whatever, a tweet. It's my remnants that I was here. I think that gives me purpose.
Yeah,
Wow, that's
that
deep.
like that you well, you said something
I was here
offline.
and queer.
You're guys hearing queer. You're like, here I am. My whole outfit and all, and
Yes.
it's memorable. I mean, I could definitely say it works because I know that's how I first noticed you, as the guy with the getup, and then when you
Yes.
start to listen, you're like, okay, he's got some really interesting like things to say. Uh,
Yeah.
but you did say something offline a little bit about like not wanting to go because you get up every day, uploaded.
Yes.
Have you done some form of content every day for the last 10
Oh
years?
yes. Absolutely 100%. No days
Yeah.
off.
No, not a single, no vacations, nothing.
No, I go on vacation, but I'm filming the room tour. I'm doing that. I'm always, yeah,
You're
posting
always working. You said some
chronically online.
chronically, yeah. Yeah. You said something about like not wanting to go be poor or get back to being poor.
Yes, I don't want to be broke again. Like, back in humble beginnings, like I didn't want to, be sleeping in the garage on my mom's floor again. I didn't want to go back to that. And this
Hmm.
is the way I found an avenue to do something I love and make money while doing it too. And I think that's the
Hmm.
beauty of it, is to
Hmm.
do something you love and you're able to make money out of it. That's a blessing. And I
Hmm.
found that, and I don't want to be poor again. And the reality is maybe I won't ever be poor again. But I don't want to think about it. And I know that this is the way to go, and just keep posting my life and my stories and my views and opinions on things. And people show up for me and watch. And I love that. To upload a video and have it at least 5,000 or 10,000 people watch, that's
Hmm.
amazing. You know, yeah, it may not be a million. I understand that. That's okay. But even those 5 or 10,000 people, wow, that's still a lot.
And it's still, yeah, and to do it every day for 10
Yeah,
years. Um, and that's, it takes something for somebody to continue doing what they're doing like that. So
I'm
it sounds like
crazy.
it's a combination of like, yeah, yeah, crazy. It's because I always say like when it comes to YouTube, you just have to want it bad enough. Like it's a lot of people make excuses.
Yes, you gotta want it. Like you gotta want to breathe,
Hmm.
right? Like
Hmm.
there's an analogy that if I put your head underwater, you're gonna fight to come up. That fight needs to be for you too. That fight to breathe, your
Yeah.
head underwater, it needs to be for whatever it is that you want to be successful at. It has to be that way. and it will happen. Because if you go outside and you chop a tree down, you hit it once, eventually it will fall.
Hmm.
Eventually. And that's just the way the universe works. Like keep making a video every day, something great will happen. And it has happened many times.
And I love that. I love that
Yeah.
analogy. I think that's it. That's the thing is I feel like with YouTube, I hear a lot of people like excuses or, da, da, da,
Oh
da, da.
yeah, they upload one video, they get no views, they quit.
Mhm.
You know, you
Mhm.
gotta be consistent at it. Go outside every day and hit that tree one time. Eventually it will fall. That's the way the life works that way.
Yeah.
Eventually it will break. And it will just
Yeah.
tumble down. And you just gotta keep posting and you don't have to do it every day like me, but do be consistent in it. Whether it's working out at the gym or your diet or exercise or relationship or marriage or your job, just work on it every day.
Is there anything about YouTube or social media or the future of YouTube or social media that you see that worries you or scares you at all?
Yeah, I would say yes, like because it's always been volatile in the
Mhm.
sense like you can't really predict how well video is gonna do. You never know if this is gonna be that one that hits.
Mhm.
That kind of like bothers me, but that also makes it fun. It's almost like gambling in a way.
It
Like,
is.
is this
I've
gonna be?
I've equated YouTube to gambling. 100%. I've said
Yes,
that because you never know which is that video that's going to hit.
it'll be the
And the
one if
people that
you.
like to gamble, I like gambling. They kind of
Yeah,
like that
Buffalo.
mhm,
Like,
that
I
draw
love.
like of just never know which is the next one.
Let's see. I love it. I love that. It's fun to post a video and let's see how far it reaches.
Mhm.
And you, granted, you do have a little control. You kind of know if this video is going to hit hard or not. You know,
Yeah.
if you're filming a panic attack, yeah, that'll probably do pretty good.
Yeah.
But, you know, if you're being open and honest and maybe shed a tear, that'll do pretty good. But you just never know. But then you do kind of know. That's the
Mhm.
interesting part
You
about
start
it.
to get
But
better. You get better at it. You
you
can
get
it's
better
definitely
at
a
it.
skill. It's a
Yeah.
skill you learn for sure.
You know, I will say that the old CEO, I like YouTube when we had the old CEO, the woman, I forgot her name. I think
Susan
with the W. I think her last name is
Worship,
W.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I liked it when she was there.
Mhm.
But the new CEO, I don't really see many
I
changes,
don't know
or
who the
it
new
seems kind of
CEO is.
stagnant.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know who the
I
new
think
CEO
maybe
is.
I've always been upset that YouTube tries to be a little bit of Instagram, a little bit of TikTok. Just be YouTube.
Yeah, with
I
the
always
whole
disliked
shorts
it.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah, and
Um,
focus on a better algorithm too, because algorithm I think change. And then I will say this: everyone is chasing the algorithm. And I want to say this, the algorithm is always changing. So just when you think you found it, it changes.
yeah.
That's one thing I want to say too. People
Do you
always
think
say
it's the
that.
algorithm changing or do you think it's the people are changing?
It's both. It's a symbiotic thing. It's so crazy.
Yeah, it is because I think the algorithm responds to what people are doing. But
Yeah.
then
How is
yeah,
somebody doing pottery lessons get 30 million views? The hell's going on? Right? Like, I
there's a
don't
lot of people
understand.
that like these niche. There are people that like watching people do things with their hands, like they like
Yeah.
crafting stuff. Yeah, those
They're
things
like
get a
doing
lot
their
of
nails on camera. They're doing their
yeah,
nails.
I know, but people like that stuff, which is
Crazy.
there's
So
something
I do
there's
think
something
so.
for everyone.
Don't you can kind of predict the algorithm a little bit, but for the most part, you'll never figure it out. It's
Yeah,
a code that is always changing, and
yeah,
it's changing with the times and what people are searching and what people are buying. It's all that.
yeah. It's a lot. You said you were burnt out. What was it that burned you out?
It was talking about the same people, right? They say, Rich Lux, you talk about the same five people all the time, right? Which I do, right? And it's like, okay. And then I'll try to talk about somebody new and nobody shows up. Nobody, I'm like, well, okay. Let me go back to talking about Jeffree Star. That gets all the views. It's so insane. Maybe it's the algorithm. I don't understand it. But at least I dip my toe and I try new things. And I have to get excited about like these projects. Like I have these projects I get excited about. Like I shoot music videos. Like I'm a
Mhm,
little rapper and I'd be doing
mhm.
my little thing.
I've seen that.
Yeah, and they're fun
Yeah,
and
yeah,
quirky.
yeah.
And so I love doing the music videos. I know they're not gonna get a lot of views. It's a good tax write-off, but it's a great thing to do for fun to keep me excited about life. And we call them tent pole moments.
Mhm, mhm.
And so I shoot those videos or evergreen videos. I find those to be fun. And so I shoot those. And so when I get burned out, I got to think of a project, a passion project. And maybe the next one might be like a 2 hour vlog about, Beanie Babies or something, or Downhill of Jacqueline Hill. Who knows? Or whatever happened from Linda from Morphe. Maybe a whole 3 hour documentary about that. And it's something funny about watching like a 4-hour documentary about Erika.
It's like,
Like, who would
oh,
care that much? But let's watch it. You know what I'm saying? It's so interesting.
well, some people, I mean, look at Jen. She did that huge 3-part series of James Charles. And how many hours was it? It was like 8 hours. I
Yes.
mean, but he's pretty, there's a lot of interesting stuff. But like, yeah, so it's like if you're talking about the same 4 or 5 people again and again, do you just get over it? Or you're just like, what am I doing? Like, is that where the burnout comes from?
The burnout does come from that, but I get excited. What keeps me excited about when I do
Yeah.
it is the
Yeah.
different topics. You
Okay.
know, like Jeffree Star said, he's about to quit TikTok because there's a new TikTok new payout scale that's
Yeah.
rolling out,
Yeah.
and he's upset about that. So it's fun news to talk about. But I generally love doing it. But yes, I do get burned out, but I
Mhm.
do love doing it. And to people watching, like when you decide to make YouTube content, do it because you want to do it. Because if it was about the money, I would have quit a long time ago. You do it because you generally like it.
Yeah. You
Hmm.
have to. I mean, for you too, to get up every day and do it and make a long form video.
Yeah, I have a checklist. So I get up, I make a YouTube video a day, go live for an hour on TikTok, shoot short form TikTok videos, and then work out. Once I do those 4 things, I'm free to move around the world and do stuff.
Do you get up early to do it, or like, is it just you
Yeah,
just
like around 6 in the morning. I
okay?
have to wake up in the morning, kick whatever hot guy I had over the night, kicked him out, and then I start filming my videos.
You're like, I gotta work.
I gotta work.
Like,
I
I gotta
gotta work,
work.
honey.
Yeah. So you
You
don't
know,
plan or anything. You just get up and you're like, what's going on today? I'm gonna
yeah,
talk
I
about
just get up and I just look at the latest news, whether it's, you remember Temptalia? I'll look
it. Oh
at
yeah.
that,
Yeah.
stuff, wherever she's at, or Trend Mood.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Look at this current hot topics online and then form my own opinion about it.
Yeah.
Or if it's a makeup review I want to do, like let me see, the last thing I bought. I love asking people, oh, what's the last thing you bought? The last thing I got was the new ABH foundation.
Oh, I've heard
Which,
good things about it.
did a
Really good
review
things
of.
about it.
Yeah, I like it. It's not bad. I'm not mad at it. I like,
Yeah.
reviewing stuff, and sometimes it's a slow news day. And if it's a
Yeah.
slow news day, then I'll sit down, just have a heart to heart to the camera and just talk about what I'm going through, or some new reviews, or what I got in the mail,
Mm-hmm.
and things
Mm-hmm.
like that. But I love, and I can't stress enough, I love doing it because I would have left it a long time ago if I did it. I'll go back to working at a chemical plant.
Yeah. I think you'd much rather get up every day and just talk for fun, right?
It's
I
a
mean,
blessing. Like
yeah.
so many, the stuff that you and I do, it's a dream that so many people would love to. They would kill to have this
I
gig,
always say that. I
And
always
so,
say that.
when I complain about, oh, I didn't get no views today, I don't get no many likes, like I have to remind myself, but this is a blessing. Like you're lucky to even do this, and that's why I
Yeah.
just keep doing it. Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it is a blessing.
You gotta have like a personality. You gotta have something that sets you apart. And I think that there are people who get lucky by the algorithm, and they get hit with lots of views and they get an algorithm. But if they're boring as rocks, they're boring as rocks, and so people will trickle down.
Well, you can't
It's
have a career for 10 years without having something that
Yeah.
people like on
One
YouTube.
of
Like,
my greatest achievements
yeah.
was going on that H3H3. Are you familiar with them?
Yes, yes. What's that
They,
guy's
they
name?
Ethan Klein.
Yep, yep.
He had a live show, and he rented out a whole entire theater where they shot the Oscars, and he filled it up, and he invited me to come on to speak for like 2 minutes. And when I walked out on stage, everybody was
Wow.
standing up clapping. The whole audience, they were like shook that I was even there. And it was a feeling that I wish everybody could have, to see all the people.
Yeah, for
I
you.
recorded it. It's on my TikTok, it's on my Instagram. That moment in time, and I will forever remember that moment. It was like wow.
Why did he invite you? Like, how did you guys get connected?
It was
Because he's mostly like politics and current
Yeah,
events and stuff
he's
like
very
that. Yeah,
controversial. So he
yeah.
had a guy working on the show named Dan, and
Mm,
Dan does the lighting and the switching and the
hmm.
camera angles. So sometimes the camera will be on Dan if Dan gives commentary. Well, Dan kept messing it up. Like someone's talking and the camera's on somebody else. So I made a video that he needs to fire Dan, and how upset I was. And it was such a comedy thing. It was I was being serious, but everyone thought it was so funny, and they invited me on to settle my beef out with Dan on stage. That's what it was.
Oh, that's what it was.
And I had to give an award. It was an award for the YouTube biggest catastrophe, and it went to Kai Cenat.
Hmm.
But
Oh,
nobody showed up. All the people who won the award, nobody showed up.
Oh no.
You're talking Jennifer Lopez, Britney Spears. None of them showed up, but it was just funny.
Well, he
It
just
gives
did
you.
like a fun big event to kind of. That's
And
funny.
Tana Mojo was there. I got to meet
Oh,
Jeff
yeah,
Wittick.
that's cool. That's cool. That's
Yeah.
a cool. That's a good. And that's the thing that's only going to come from being on YouTube. And I always say this. It's like you're on like the
Yes.
world stage when you're on when you create YouTube videos.
Yeah.
It's the only
And you
way.
know what? I really do think that there is a strategy to being successful on YouTube. There is like a little recipe to it. And if I were to add to it, it's just being consistent. That's what I was, and that because that's what's worked for me. It's just being
Mm-hmm.
consistent and uploading and being on brand, if that's the case. And
Yeah.
I've always come from a place of like, because I grew up around a lot of drag queens backstage,
Mm-hmm.
and I would just
Mm-hmm.
zip them up in the trailer and help them put on their makeup and push them out on stage. So I've always been very theatrical.
Yeah.
So from my
So, what you work
perspective,
backstage in like a drag queen show or
yeah,
something? With drag queens, like
yeah,
doing their makeup or what? Getting them
yeah, in the
dressed?
backstage. We used to be backstage at the gay nightclub. I used to be backstage, and I used to get the glue on the lash, zip them up, fix the hair, and I would hear of them fighting with each other and the drunk as a skunk and whatever. And it was all show business, and
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
that's what I remember. And they would get paid at the end of the night cash, and they would tip me, and that's how I got my theatrical side,
I
is
was
like
say
learning it
kind of
backstage.
the whole look and all that.
hmm
Oh,
they
that's
they
cool.
call that genre of club kid. That's what they
Yeah.
call it. It's like just
Okay.
looking. It's like shock value.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so that's where I got my theatrical background from. And so when people say, "How can I be successful on YouTube?" I always say, just have a gimmick, have like a stick, have a gig, have set you apart from everybody else.
So the math is that the whole point? Is just okay. The guy with
Absolutely.
the eye
The guy
stuff
with the
and
crime, they
triangles.
call them triangles or a
Yeah.
clown. I don't care.
Hmm.
I'm the hardest working clown in town. I tell people,
That's a good
call me
one.
anything you want. Don't call me lazy.
Yeah, that's
That's
a
what I
good
tell
one.
people. And so
Yeah.
I always tell people, like, just have a gimmick, have a stick. But then
Hmm.
some people will say, no, don't do that. Be yourself. And you know what? Sometimes being yourself is not going to get the views.
Yeah.
Sometimes. I'm just,
But you
oh,
have to say no, but no. I mean, I know
am I wrong
exactly.
for saying that?
No, I know. I don't think
Some
you're
people are
wrong.
more.
I think what I always say is that you have to figure out what people find interesting about you, right? Like sometimes people do want to just kind of come on and like, do their thing. But the reality is like what makes you interesting? What makes you watchable? What makes you intriguing? What do you have that's special? And some people want to lean into things that it isn't actually, and because I deal with this all the time when I'm working with people, and then I get to know them. I'm like, why the hell are you talking about
Yeah.
makeup when you have
Yeah.
this crazy, incredible career?
Yes.
That is way
Yes.
fascinating.
People want to watch you having the panic attack.
Yeah.
Film that.
Yeah. Do you know how many times, because I do group calls, do you know how many times I'm like, why don't you talk about that? Like, what are you doing? Like, doing this, like, all the time. Like, it's like, because everyone, you kind of, and that's kind of what I do. I was like, okay, well, tell me about your life. What do you do? Da-da-da-da. I'm like, well, you've got like 7 kids. Like, what are you doing this? Or I mean, I had, it was like when I first started doing this, it was, she has a big YouTube channel now, Exotic. She has like 800,000 subscribers. She was doing makeup, and I was like, well, no, kind of tell me about yourself. And she's like, well, I'm an exotic animal trainer and this and that, and I work with tarantulas. I'm like,
Oh my
what the fuck
God.
are you doing makeup for? And like,
Well,
and
exactly.
she had all these reasons though, like all these reasons why. And I was real, and I'm really, when I work with people, I'm very real with them. I'm like, fine, you can chug along and still do makeup and be one of thousands of people, or you're telling me that you want to be successful at YouTube. Okay. You want to be big on YouTube. That's what you're telling me. You've literally got a golden nugget sitting in front of you right now. How many people can say that they hang out with cockroaches and tarantulas and snakes all day long
Yeah.
and like enjoy it, you know? And, and so it took her like 6 months. It took her a while to like come around to
To
it.
get her,
She
yeah.
did, and she blew
Blew
up,
up.
of course. Sometimes it's not always that obvious, but there's always something about people that's interesting or helpful or like you can give value to. And some
Yes.
people, it's right in front of their noses and they don't see it.
And they have to remove the ego, arrogance, and pride
Mm-hmm.
to really
Mm-hmm.
let the world open up. And
Yeah.
so when I started and I was working at the chemical plant and I was all butch and what's going on, honey, you know what I'm saying? I'm talking about that wasn't gonna pay the bills. That like living like that because I grew up very macho household.
Mm-hmm.
Being gay was not okay,
Mm-hmm.
right? And my dad, he had
You
cirrhosis of the
Mexican?
liver. Mexican family.
Yeah.
My dad's Mexican. My mom's Puerto Rican.
Okay. My mom's from Mexico. I'm half
Yeah,
Mexican.
I don't want to cry, but my dad passed away of cirrhosis of the liver. Oh
Oh,
God,
I'm
I don't
sorry.
even know about that.
Oh.
Um, and he kind of held me back because he was a narcissist. I lived with I didn't know that until looking back at it, the
Mm.
narcissistic tendencies that he had. And you know how we say like everyone should work customer service so they know what it's
Right.
like, or
Yeah.
be a waiter so know what it's like. With living with a
Mm-hmm.
narcissist or having a father or mother or a boyfriend or a family member, it's like when you come out of that, the level of discernment that you have coming out of it, then I can see people and I'm like narcissistic tendencies, daddy issues, habitual liar. I can see it in people now that
Mm-hmm.
I got out of that. But
That's
he ended up
true.
passing away.
Mm.
And when he passed away, I was like I let go of the macho ness that I was putting in front. I mean, those videos are still on YouTube where I'm like, what's going on?
So you were putting up a front for him.
Yeah. I just thought that's what was okay. I
That's
had to do that.
that's how you have
And
to
when
be.
he passed away, I was sad about it, but it was
Mm.
kind of like relieved. That's
Mm.
such a good thing to say. But I was relieved because I got to be me. And I got
Mm.
on YouTube and I'm like, if I want to paint myself like a clown, and I'm going to do it. And I want to talk about Jaclyn Hill and her hairy lipsticks, I can do it. And it just blew up for me because I was able to let go of the ego, arrogance, and pride and the chains that held me back of systemic or my family, whatever. And I was able to be myself. And this is why when I walk into rooms and people meet me and they're like, you just have this aura about you, Rich. You just like you're a vibe. I'm like, yes, because I have nothing holding me back. I live in my truth every day
I love
with
that.
my wonky lash.
With the-
I don't care. I care. I love it. And and I got to know the seriousness of alcohol because he loved to drink alcohol.
Mm.
He
Mm.
wasn't an alcoholic as in like fighting or anything like that. He just
He
would
wasn't an
drink.
aggressive alcoholic. Yeah.
Yeah, he would just drink like 12 six-packs, or I guess 12 packs, like whatever, and then he would
Mm.
go to sleep, wake up, go to work, same
Sure.
thing. But he was just very negative, and it
Mm.
ended up costing him his life because
And
cirrhosis
because
of
you
the
said
liver.
cirrhosis of the liver, that's because
Yeah, so this
yeah.
is the reason I don't drink today. I
Mm-hmm.
don't smoke today
Mm-hmm.
because I see that, and I'm such invested in wellness,
Yeah.
and it's all. And I didn't understand why as I got older why I'm invested in certain things
Mm-hmm.
because of childhood trauma that
Mm-hmm.
I worked through.
So did you come up with that whole shtick situation after your dad died, or was it like later or
I
before? Or
was,
did that
yeah,
trigger
it
it?
was right around the time that he was really sick. Like he couldn't
Mm.
even, you're so sick, he couldn't even complain, you know?
So he saw it.
He saw it, yeah. And he did tell me before he passed away, I'm proud of you. And I was like, wow, that meant a lot. So I
That,
got that
I
closure.
was gonna say, did you? So he saw you for who you were, and still
Hmm.
said he was proud of you.
Yeah, exactly.
How did that feel for you?
It felt great, but I have to live life for me and not
Mm-hmm.
validation of others.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, thank you for acknowledging me, but I'm doing this for me, honey.
Yeah.
I'm doing this for me.
Yeah.
It's almost like you forgive people so that not for them but just for you. Like, I forgive you, girl, it's fine, it's okay, and then you just move on. I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
Oh, that was deep. I never talked about it. I don't think I'll talk about that, but it made me who I am today. But and I got to see what the effects are of alcohol, and that's why I don't do it. Even with friends, they'll offer me cocktails. I'm like, no, I'm okay. I just never did. And I'm such a control freak that I want to remember what I did the next day. Sorry if I got too deep. I'm
No,
sorry.
I love it. It's because you see somebody like yourself, and that's one of the questions I have too. Is like, how much of the Rich Lux that we see is a character, and how much is it, rich?
A lot of it is what you see when you watch my YouTube videos. A lot of it is a character, but if
Hmm.
you really pay attention, you'll see. Oh, okay, he's smart. There's something
Hmm.
there. Like you
Hmm.
saw glimpses of it too,
Yeah, I told you
and
that.
you'll
I was like,
yeah that
nobody's able to be successful on YouTube for this long if they're not smart and strategic.
yeah. And there's a lot of politics involved. I feel like too,
Like what?
and that's the ups and flows. Like I've noticed that like certain brands will send me PR, some brands don't.
Mm.
You know, um, I've always acknowledged that Anastasia Beverly Hills was the first brand to send me any PR. And some people don't like that brand for their
Mhm.
reasons. And I've always, because I'm a Leo, I'm extremely loyal to people. And
Is that what
so
a
that's
Leo
why,
is? Because it's funny because I'm very loyal. I'm a very loyal person. I found out I was this is so because I'm on the cusp. I found out I was a Pisces, but I'm a Leo rising. So I guess
yes,
that's like people, the way they see you.
Leos are extremely loyal. And that's why I've
Mhm.
always just had like people like Jeffree Star and anyone who's ever given me an opportunity to speak. And
Mhm.
I want to thank you for opening up your platform to allow me to speak on your platform. Like, thank you for that.
Well,
I
even
acknowledge that.
you had me on your channel and I didn't even
Yeah.
know. I was like, I was like, I had a baby and I just like
Oh my
randomly put
God.
this video up and somebody was like, oh, Rich Lux like talked about you on his channel. I'm like, why? Like, what am I'm minding my business, having a baby. Why is he talking about me? And I was like, what? And then I saw it and I was like, looking at it, I was like, oh, okay. It was like he was commenting on my video. It was nice
Yes.
to see that. So
Which was a
you.
great video, guys.
Dude,
Please
thank
watch
you.
Erica's videos. They're
That like
amazing.
totally surprised. I'm like, how did he even find me or the video? Probably popped up
He
here.
just popped up on the
Yeah.
algorithm.
And it was
It
just a
popped up.
random. I was like, that's not what I do. I don't do that kind of videos. But like, I was like taking a break from YouTube or because I have my business. That's kind of my number one. And like
Yeah.
now I'm back on YouTube and stuff. But I just felt like I wanted to say that about it. I just had things to say. So I'm like, I had the baby. Let me just do it. And the next day, I knew like Rich Lux is on my channel. I'm like, he's a gossip channel.
That was a great video, and I wanted to shout you out and
Thank you.
show some love because the editing was amazing, the lighting was great, your topics were just on point, and I felt like what you said in that video will stand till this day.
Mm-hmm,
It's
mm-hmm.
so true.
I mean, I have so many thoughts because I have a different perspective in that I've worked with so many women creators on the beauty side, on the fashion side, on the all different niches, business side, finance, whatever. And I've been doing this for over almost 10 years, like
Yeah.
producing channels, working with creators, coaching. So I've worked with at this point well over 1,500 YouTube creators, like one-on-one individually, right? And
Wow.
so it's like when I watch YouTube and I see things that are happening, I have so many thoughts all the time, but
You know what? It's so interesting. You're seeing things through a different lens
yes, very
when
different.
you're watching someone's YouTube video,
Mm-hmm.
and you can almost see, oh, there's a sponsorship coming. Oh, there it is, and things like that. Or why are they saying this? Or why are they doing that? And you
Mm-hmm.
see things from a very critical lens.
Mm-hmm.
And I love people like that because
Mm-hmm.
you're able to think outside the box.
Yeah. Well, it's
Yeah,
like you said, it's a different perspective. So I have a different perspective because of everything that I know. And so when I see things, I'm like, okay, and I like to give people credit too, maybe too much. So, I think
yeah,
sometimes people are very harshly judged
yeah.
on YouTube and stuff like that. And, very harshly, which you get criticized for. It's
It
funny
happened
though.
the other day, and
What's her name? Michaela or whatever.
Michaela
Like,
Noguera.
mhm.
When are you familiar with Selena Gomez?
Yes.
Right.
I just
So
think I
so
was this live in a rock? Are you familiar? It's like, are you familiar? Like with Selena Gomez? Like,
I
I don't
know.
know who Selena Gomez is?
This is how I talk. Right? So check this out.
Yes.
So,
Okay.
okay, so she made this video, she made a TikTok, and she was crying about people being deported and things, right? And I'm watching it through my perspective, my lens,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like,
Mm-hmm.
where was this a week ago?
Mm-hmm.
Because you just dropped a new liquid, the liquid bronzer. I want to be very specific because they'll come for me in the comments.
Oh.
They'll she It was contour. She dropped a liquid contour.
Oh, okay.
And then
Mm-hmm.
2 days later, she makes this video crying.
Oh, so you're
And I
saying
was
there was
thinking, I
no
was like, wait a
recording?
minute, where was this energy a week ago when it was
Mm-hmm.
a big topic? And when I said it, and I got a lot of hate for it, how dare you even put those two together? But then
Mm-hmm.
some people in the comment were like, you know what, you're right. Where was she a week ago? And da-da-da. And it all made sense to some people, but it's that dichotomy of like,
You call
you're,
things out, and you
you
might.
can't,
I mean, have you ever been? Because you've been right a lot of times in things,
yeah,
but have you ever been like just really wrong or off?
yes, I have,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't remember what it is.
Okay.
And this is not ego and arrogance coming out.
Yeah.
I just don't know what it
Oh,
is.
you've talked about so many things. Yeah.
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 And there's so many influencers out there that sometimes I'll get news about them. I'm like, who is this person? Then I go
Mhm.
look, millions of followers. I'm like,
Yeah.
what the?
I know. I know. I deal with that all the time
How?
too. Yeah. They exist. They exist outside the world, Rich. They exist.
I know. I'm like, "Ooh, okay, well, let's talk about them. I'm just stuck in my bubble of Tana Mojo, Jake Paul, Jeffree Star, James Charles, and stuff. That's kind of like my realm, and I talk about them because that's what I know about. Every now and then, I will branch out, especially on TikTok. I feel like I have more freedom to branch out because it's short form content. I can just throw it out there, and it hits sometimes. So I had to tell myself, don't be afraid to try new things
Yeah, you seem very routine, like habit routine.
because you know why it works.
Yeah, it
It
does.
works. But I also knew to need to branch out and try new things.
Yeah, that's fine too. I mean, that happens when you get bored or you get burned out. Sometimes something has to happen for you to like get out of your thing, try something different. Is there a moment or event through your experience that has fundamentally changed you as a person?
I mean, I would say yes. As a person, yes. I would have to say collectively, it would be the experience of being a YouTuber
Hmm.
and the amount of like money that came into it. It did change me. The
Hmm.
money changed me to be more of who I really am and more of who I really want to be. Because they always say money changes people. And yes,
I
it
think
does.
money enhances who people
Yes.
already are. Like the
Yeah.
more money, like if somebody's kind of a nasty person that's
It
poor,
brings that
it
out.
brings that
Yes.
out. Yeah, they're more
And
of that.
so it allowed me to employ people because I do have an assistant that helps me out with things. It allowed me to do things that I wanted to do and really like work on my body and get work done. But it also allowed me to see fake snakes. I've been burned, I've been lied to. So much has been taken from me in this life because of the YouTube situation and the money that comes in and the clout,
Well, what do you mean? Like so much has been like, is it just people that pretend to like want to be your friend, like in
Yeah.
real life because you have a YouTube channel,
No,
or is it like other influencers?
that which you nailed it, other influencers, but I've noticed men too, like there'll
Hmm.
be straight men who flirt with a gay guy because the gay guy
Hmm.
has money and stuff like that. They call that
Hmm.
gay baiting and stuff like that. So it's
Hmm.
when I see whether someone who's generally attracted to me or generally wants to be a good friend, I'm always looking at them through like, well, are you really here for me or for what I have to offer?
And
You
do you
know?
show up like that in real life with the getup, with the makeup and all
Yeah,
that?
when I'm booked, like when I have bookings and stuff, I get booked for stuff. I go on the
Yes,
news. Like I
yes.
will walk or I'm gonna shoot a video out and about. I'll dress up like that.
Hmm.
But generally, when I'm just like this, I even
Hmm.
question. It's hard to have friends in this industry who really care about you,
Yeah,
generally, and aren't going to use it for clicks and views, or
yeah,
secretly record me or blackmail me. And this, I've seen it all, you know. And it's
yeah.
just sad, and that's the reality of like it's not all glitz and glam. There's a lot of like shadiness behind the scenes too, and a lot of it is just trying to find who's really here for me. And so when you said what has changed me, is it made me a little bit bitter about life a little bit
Mm.
because it's like, wow, people are really mean. People aren't really thinking that they're really there for you. There's what they want to get out of you. And so I can't
Mm.
let that dim my spirit. I have to continue to shine, show up for myself, and just move with discernment. And if I see something that's off, nip it in the bud.
Do you
Get out of
feel
here.
like you have any real friends like through YouTube?
I feel like I have a few. I feel like I feel Peter Mon is a friend.
Hmm.
Um, and that's like the YouTube side. I'm trying to remember because if I leave a name out, God, they'll be so
Yeah,
upset.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
There are very few. It's maybe I can count on my one hand, maybe.
Oh,
But
wow.
a lot of it is just they're just there for the clicks and views and what they can get out of it.
So you
How can
think
I
most
benefit them?
people are trying to use you?
Oh yeah, and that's my perspective. I could be wrong, but a lot of the times I'm right. They like, what do they want out of me? What can they get out of me? Who can they meet through me?
Oh, and that's everywhere, influencers. So you have a not like an issue with trusting because it's like if you've been burned that many times, you have to put those walls up to
I've been
protect
burned so
yourself.
many times, girl. Yeah, I put those walls up, and so but I still am open to meeting people. I'm not closed off or a hermit. I still give everybody a chance, but I'm a lot more quicker to cut someone off. And I'm the bitch. I'm the asshole for it. You treat somebody so good, and then if I see them move a snaky way, I
Yeah.
cut them off, and I'm the bad guy. But I have to do it to protect myself. because I'm a very loving, giving, generous person. My love language is gift giving. So I love to give gifts.
Yeah.
Love it.
I
You
like
know?
this too. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So I love to give gifts, and people
Mhm.
take that as me either trying to buy their friendship or something like that. That's not the
Mhm.
case. No, I had to let them
Mhm.
know. My love language is gifting, and if you move wrong, I'm cutting you out of my life. Just keep
Yeah.
it going.
You gotta be, yeah, you gotta protect, like protecting your energy, your space.
I asked that the assistant Elton, who's been with me for 5 years. I said, "What's one thing that you notice about me that I could change?" And I was shocked what he said. He said, "Rich, there's been a lot of people that have come in your life and that you have cut off because they did you wrong, and they deserved it. But I just feel like maybe you should have kept them at a distance and not just totally cut them off."
Why did he feel that way?
Just his perspective. That was his perspective of things.
I know. I
I didn't
wonder
go
why
any.
he felt like was there would be benefit in having those people around.
I think so. I think he believed in second, third, fourth chances, and whereas me, I'm like, you get one shot. You
Yeah,
know.
that reminds me of some people I know. You got to be really careful around them. You say the wrong thing, you're out. You know.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Is that a bad thing, or like help me understand that? Like,
Well, I don't
whoever.
think I.
Erica, give me a therapy session, guys.
Well, most people, the people I work with, they're like, "You're my YouTube therapist." Um, I I don't think it's a bad thing, but I think that sometimes if you really cut people off, like without hearing them out, you might be cutting people off who's you misinterpreted their intention and what they did. So I don't know how much of that you actually like figure out what happened or whatever, right? Whereas like if you just cut someone off, you if you don't get their side or understand what's going on, then you're kind of like, you know, throwing out the baby with the bathwater. And it might lean into that direction. I don't know. I mean, I know someone who's very much like that. Like you cross her, you say one thing, she will like never, ever, ever, like ever forgive you. You know, like ever.
And maybe it's a sign of being like a type A personality. Maybe that's when I
It's
just
a
take a
like,
step.
or it's like a well, it's a protection. I think it's a protection mechanism. I
Yeah.
do, and but that's not necessarily a bad thing because I think everybody deserves to surround themselves by people that respect them and want them to do well. We can't choose our family, but we can choose our friends and the people that surround us.
Yeah.
So you know, it's like
I love that.
you don't
Beauty. That
have
was another
to.
beautiful thing you said. That was such a beautiful thing. That was such a beautiful. It's so true, though. It's so
Yeah.
true.
Yeah. So it's like, it's really your choice. And if somebody, you also don't want, yeah, you don't want to be around someone that you don't feel like you can trust them or be yourself
Yeah.
around. And, but then at the same time, if somebody's like, maybe somebody says something that's, they're being honest and you didn't like what they had to say, then it's like,
And so that's what changed me. Circling back to your question
yeah,
about there had been something that has changed me as a person. That I would say that like coming with the success comes a lot of the back end of the griminess behind it.
yeah, that was another question. I was like, what is the price to pay for doing what you do?
I
The
would say,
gossip, you know, all that.
you know what? Yeah. What has been the price I pay is that people are very quick to judge. So they
Hmm.
think that, oh, he does drama. He's pure drama. He's just gonna use you, throw you under the bus because for a view. And that's not the case. To me, it's just more of it's just celebrity news and gossip. And
Hmm.
I try to keep it superficial.
Yeah.
Every now and then I'll go a little deep, but I'm like, if you want more, do the research yourself. The griminess behind that of the success is that like people don't get to see me as a person.
Yeah.
They think drama equals bad. That's what I don't like about it. Because not all commentary is bad, not all drama channels are bad. And people just think that. They think that, oh, you're talking to a drama channel. Like I don't have many beauty guru friends
Hmm.
because of that negative connotation that
Because
drama
are they
channels are
going to
bad.
afraid that you're going to turn around and just talk about them? On
Exactly. I think that's what it is
and
too. And I think that's
have
what
you done
hindered.
that?
No,
You haven't.
no. When have I done that? No,
No, I don't know.
I've even
You
asked
upload every
people
day. I
like,
don't know.
no, I've even asked people like, hey, is it okay if I talk about this? Like Tati Westbrook, one day I messaged her and I said, hey, is it okay if I talk about this? Because these are what people are talking about. And she told me, no, I would appreciate if you don't talk about that. It was something to do with her husband, James, or something. It was some rumor. And she was like, no, talk about that's not true. I was like, okay. And I didn't talk about it. We moved on.
So do you don't get permission though from everybody whenever you upload every time?
No, if I feel like it's a very
Personal thing?
personal thing, I
Hmm.
gotta ask. And some people are like, who was it? Even Jaclyn Hill one day, I
Mhm.
asked her, she said, you can speculate about friendships. I don't care.
No.
Because I felt really bad.
Mm, you
I was
did.
like, let me see if this is okay because I don't want it to bite me in the butt later on.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Yeah, but for the most part, I have a good judge of character, a good
Mm-hmm.
judge of what I want to talk about. But if
Hmm.
it's a touchy subject, then I'll reach out.
Yeah.
Especially if it's like a really bad rumor or something.
Okay. So I think we're kind of nearing the end. I was like, I thought about this. I was like, should we spill like a little bit of tea? I had a
Okay.
couple questions.
Okay, go.
So, who do you think are the biggest liars out there?
I think everybody's a liar. I think a lot of beauty gurus are liars. I think a lot of influencers are liars. And I'm sorry, but that is the opinion of what I've been seeing a lot on the younger generation is they see people, I love this so much. They automatically, I'm being sold. This is a lie. Get your bag, make your coin. And I think that a lot of people lie. Like they
Yeah.
really are promoting stuff they don't generally like.
Oh, so this most beauty gurus in general are liars.
Yeah.
Okay. Who do you think is surprisingly a good person out there that people should give more credit for?
Glamzilla.
Namzilla. I don't know if
You
I.
know who she is? She's a
Mm-mm.
beauty guru. She's an Asian
Okay.
beauty guru. She's from Canada. She is up there with like Michaela Noguera, and I think
Okay.
that she's genuine, a
Okay.
genuine heart.
She's one of the good ones.
Yeah.
Um, who do you think gets way more recognition and fandom than you think actually deserves it?
James Charles.
Oh,
I don't
yes, it's
understand.
kind of an easy one.
I don't understand the fandom behind it. I don't get it. I don't
Yeah,
understand
I don't get
the
it.
hurrah, the
Uh-huh.
fact that he still has people follow him. I'm just shocked by that.
Who has surprised you the most of the influencers that you've come in contact with or met?
I would say Jeffree Star.
Why?
He's very generous. I've seen him give money to donations, give money to charity, give people money who their house got burned down, and he doesn't say anything at all. Doesn't even mention it.
Oh,
Didn't take a picture with the big check,
yeah, yeah.
and it's things like that that he doesn't show or talk about. And
Mm.
he's generally like he comes off like a badass, but
Mhm.
he's a cupcake. He's so sweet,
You see,
super sweet.
I think you're the first person I've heard call Jeffree Star sweet.
He is. You just have to like get to know him on that level. He's a
Yeah,
really nice, very giving person.
yeah,
Very giving person. But he just comes across like a badass on camera. And I'm always thinking, is that
yeah.
a gig? Is that like a stick? Is that a
Is it?
character?
Is it?
I think it might be a character.
Yeah, yeah,
I think it might be.
yeah. Does he ever bring that out in like in real life? Is that like a part of him, or is it really truly just kind of like a character facade that he puts on?
Oh, I think he's also a bitch too in real life. Like,
Yeah,
yeah, he'll snappy too. He's one of those people that don't say anything wrong, cut you off,
yeah,
just like that too. Don't
yeah,
cross them.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Who do you admire on YouTube? Who do you watch? Who do you admire?
Okay. Oh my god. I'm gonna get someone's hate for this. I admire Bethany Frankel.
But, oh, from the Housewives. Do you know what's so funny is as you were talking, I was going to ask you, do you watch the Housewives?
Yes.
Because what you said about cutting people off reminded me. Do you watch Salt Lake City?
Yes.
So it reminded me of
And
Mary. Remember when?
is that the Jen Shaw, the one when Jen Shaw
Yes,
went to jail and all
yes,
that?
yes.
Oh my god.
But I've been watching it. But anyways, one of the characters, Mary, is really good friends. But like, she'll kind of cut people off, and she explained it just how you did. She's like, "I've been burned, and I've got to put a wall up, and that's why I was so harsh and cut." She literally, like a girl she was friends with, Angie. She
Wow.
like cut her off in a second, and Angie's like, "I don't understand. Like, we're best friends. Like, how did you misinterpret that?" Or da da da. And then they talked it out, and she's like, "I can be very, 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 very like harsh and
Yeah.
unforgiving, and if anybody crosses me, like." And then she's like, it's from like growing up and da da da. And then she went into it.
Yes,
So it
exactly.
reminded me of what you said. So
It,
Bethany Frankel.
Bethany Frankel, I mean, she came out of nowhere and
Yeah.
it was
She's
doing
so
honest
determined.
reviews. Her lighting was horrible, you know, and she was reviewing stuff and she was like, "This is the best old lady cream at the
Oh, so you're a
drugstore."
fan of her post Housewives. You're a fan of her from like her makeup stuff.
Yes, I like
Ah,
her new TikTok era, her YouTube era. I love Bethany Frankel. I think she keeps it real and she can see through the BS.
yeah.
And I think how she navigated these waters are very good. So when I see her pop up with sponsorships, I'm like, wow.
Well, if you knew her from the Real Housewives days, that's why she was so successful, because she had the wittiest commentary. She said the
Yes.
right things at the right time. She was a huge fan favorite. And then she started off not being very wealthy. That wasn't her thing. She didn't have money. And then she made some really smart business decisions, and now she's laughing all the way to the bank. So she's very smart and very, very
I
calculated.
need to make Bethany Frankel drama videos. She gets in drama too.
Does she? I was like, I
Oh,
was like, I haven't seen. Well,
I can.
she's been suing people from Bravo. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I haven't been up to date with Bethany Frankel, but if you watch Bethany Frankel video, if you make them, I'll watch those.
Yes.
If you make a housewife drama, I'll watch that. What is the most interesting, juiciest story that you've uncovered on your journey or on your channel?
It had to be. This is so old. When Manny MUA and Laura Lee went to the Morphe store, and they filmed themselves buying all this Morphe makeup,
Okay.
and they showed the receipt, and I screenshot it, and it said $0.00. They didn't pay for it. They didn't pay for it, and they said they did. And I made that video, and it blew up. It got over 1 million views on YouTube. It
Hmm.
blew up because I caught them in a lie, and I screenshot their receipt. Until this day,
Yeah.
I'm like, I have the receipts.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing in this day and age. Like, you say that people lie, but it's hard to get away with lies these days, because there's people like you out there that are like watching and that's what you do. This is what you do. And this is what
Yeah.
people come for you, but that are really watching people's every move.
I'm watching and I'm looking.
Yes. And so people like the big beauty gurus, like they can't get away with anything. So it's interesting that you say that there's a lot of liars. I think you say that because you probably catch a lot of them in their
Yeah.
lies.
Yeah. Especially like I'll even look at their nail polish to
To see
match
if it matches it,
to
like the
matches
same
the dates of the videos and the reviews and all that. Yeah. Hmm.
Well, I mean, someone's got to do it.
So yeah,
You,
someone's got to do it. Someone. It's a gig.
it's a
It's a
gig,
gig. Yeah.
and it's
And
your
there's
gig.
and if it's a big enough lie, then I will call it out. But recently, I think it was James Charles recently said that he reviewed a palette from Morphe years ago. He said it was the worst palette ever. But during that time, he loved it. He
At the
he
time.
lied. He admitted that he lied about liking that palette.
Yeah, and you're like, ugh.
Yeah.
I mean, are you ever hoping for like another? I'm sure you are, because you made a lot of money from it, but like another Dramagedon
Oh
situation.
yes.
You're just
Oh
waiting.
yeah. I'm ready.
You're just like waiting
I'm
for it to
ready.
happen. Do you think
I'm.
that things are so different now? I feel like back then people were putting these beauty gurus up on a pedestal. I mean, we had those like Morphe, like store
You're
openings and just
right.
all that
You're
stuff.
right. I believe, Erica, the pendulum swings.
Hmm.
And
I believe that
during
too.
that time, it was all about influencers. And I
Hmm.
noticed the pendulum has swung and it's about celebrities now. You
Mm.
know, when the travesty happened with Astroworld and Travis Scott,
Oh
you
yeah.
know,
Oh
and I
yeah.
talked
Yeah.
and I talked about that. It was
You
big
did.
news. I covered it and I covered it every day. It was a video. I would even interviewed people who were there. You know, and then the P Diddy situation, that's big news.
Have you been talking about that on your channel?
Yeah, and they'll
That's
get.
good.
I've talked about it so much I can't get a view on it anymore. But
Yeah.
I
It
beat it with
seems
a
to have
dead
slowed
horse.
down. Like, I don't know. I remember seeing a lot about it, and then I haven't
Yes,
seen
and
anything
it
about
slowed down, and so that to me is spiking. You know, you can always
it.
see what spikes on Google search, and that was
Mm-hmm.
a big spike. And I
Mm-hmm.
think that with time it'll swing back to beauty gurus again. But I think right now we're in the form of celebrities. But I see it when celebrities have makeup brands now. So many of them have makeup
I
brands now.
know.
Like Serena
I know.
Williams inside Ulta. Who knew she even had a makeup brand in
I know.
Ulta? And Alicia Keys and a lot of celebrities have Jennifer Lopez and Selena Gomez. There's so many.
Skincare.
Yeah. And before it was a lot of influencers
I know you don't see the influencers in Ulta.
launching.
Yeah, you don't see it as
Yeah.
much.
And
They
so
do
I think the
collabs.
pendulum will
They'll do a
swing.
lot of collabs. Yeah, that's a good point about the pendulum swimming. It'll be an interesting world to look to when that
And
happens.
and this is why like I love people like you and Jen when we make these long form videos because the
Mhm.
pendulum will swing back to full even more full. People love I mean YouTube still exists because people love our content because it is long format.
Yeah,
Right now the trend is short form, but it'll swing back. It's always
yeah,
gonna be there. We will
yeah.
always be here. I'm
Long
just
form's
ready for
never
it.
going away.
It's
Yeah.
never going away. Never,
Yeah.
never, never.
So Rich is everywhere. You're on long form, short form, you're everywhere.
Yes, you got it. You're gonna find me out there. You get out. It's the
Yes.
same name too. Part of
Yeah.
marketing. Just Rich Lux, same name. I'm
That's
on
smart.
Christian Mingle. I'm
What is that, like a dating app?
yes. I'm on Christian Mingle, Twitter, Instagram, everything. Find me out there.
Everything. Oh my God, I love it. So, Rich, as we wrap it up, how do you want to be remembered?
Oh my God! I just want to be remembered as having fun and just being a good time. You know, it was a vibe. You
Well,
had to
I
be
had a
there.
great time. I
Yeah,
had a
thank
great
you.
time,
Hey,
Rich.
thank you for getting to know me. I appreciate that.
Yeah, that's what I try and do here because it's to me it's very interesting to have somebody that and that's the thing too. It's like it'll be interesting to see the comments I get. Like, oh, you interviewed Rich Lutz? Like, right? He's just like
Oh, he's
drama guy.
horrible. He's
But
a drama channel.
I mean, I see. I'm like a loyal person though. You had me on your channel and said really nice things, and I was like, well, he said nice things.
I
I was like, I like
appreciate
it.
that.
Yeah. So I was like, I was like, and you crack me up. You say the truth. You say a lot of things I think that people are thinking.
Yes.
Um, but it was fun. So thank you for
Thank
coming
you.
on and being real and hanging out with me. Is there you told everybody where they can find you, Rich
Yeah.
Lux, everywhere.
Everywhere
Is
out there.
there
Yeah.
anything else that you want people to know about you or anything at all?
Just people watching, just move with love, move with kindness. And if you do things from the heart, you can't be wrong. That's what I want to say.
All right. Well, that was a good way to wrap it up, Rich. Thank you so much.
Bye bye.
Bye.